All right, first thing I want to do is I want to go over our homework. So yesterday we took a few sample problems on cylinders, cones, and spheres. You also had to do a few for homework. So I just want to briefly talk about it. If you need to pause the video, please pause the video to write down this work so that way you know how to solve them. Our first problem gave us a diameter. We needed to use the radius. Then all you're doing is plugging it in the formula. 3.14 times 2.5 squared, which was our radius, and our height of the cylinder is 12. Type it in the calculator to get your volume of the cylinder. Number 5 is a little different because it gave you the volume, it gave you the diameter of 8, which the radius is 4, and it wanted you to find the height. So this brings back our balancing equations. So you have the volume, you have 3.14 radius. You need to combine our like terms by multiplying them. When you do that, you have h. We need to get h alone. You're going to divide by the number you have, solving for the height of the cylinder, 15 centimeters. This one is very similar in that you have the volume, you have the height. This time you're trying to find the radius. So set it up. Plug everything in. Volume, pi. We're finding the radius. We have the height. You're going to multiply the two numbers you have together because you're finding the radius, okay? Just like before, we're going to divide to get the radius alone, but the difference is it's a radius squared. So just like in our Pythagorean theorem, in order to finally solve it, you have to take the square root to get your radius. Let's flip it to our cone problems. Remember, pause the video to write this down. Number 4, the first cone that we have the side of it, we have the height, we don't have the radius. You need to use your Pythagorean theorem. This is your C, this is your A or B. C squared minus A or B squared to get your radius of 4. Once you have your radius, plug in your radius, plug in your pi, and of course, the height of the cone, which is 3. Plug all this in your calculator to get your volume. Number 5, just like on the previous page, it gives you the volume. It gives you the height. You need to find the radius. So once you plug everything in, you're going to multiply your 1/3 times 3.14 times the height, because we don't know what the radius is. That's just our tag-along friend right now. And then we're going to balance the equation. Divide by 9.42 in order to get the radius alone. The last step, square root it to get a radius of 7. Number 6 is very similar. We do not have the radius. We have the height and we have the side length. We have to use our Pythagorean theorem. The shortcut, square root, c squared minus a squared to give us our b. We end up with 16 for our radius. Then we're just going to plug in our numbers. 16 is our radius, 63 is our height, giving us a volume of our cone. When we flip to the next page, we had two sphere problems to do. However, the sphere problems actually included a cylinder and a cone. If we look at this silo over here, we have a cylinder with half a cone on top. You needed to find the volume of the cylinder. The height is 10. The radius is 2 because that's the diameter. Solve the volume of your cylinder. Then we have a sphere. We got to find the volume of the top of this. The full sphere is 33.49, but we only have half of it. So we have to divide by 2 to get half the sphere. In order to find the volume of the entire thing, add these guys up to get your entire volume of the silo. Same thing for number 5. We have a cone. We need to find the volume of a cone. Our radius is 2. Our height is 6. To get the volume of the cone. We also have a sphere. Plug in your numbers. However, we have half a sphere, so once we find the full volume, we have to divide by 2. We have the volume of the cone, volume of half the sphere. Add these guys up to get your full volume of the cone and the sphere. For the rest of class,